Hey guys, it's TF. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review for Anime Week here on the channel. This is going to be of the previously released Bandai Tamashii Nations Evangelion Store exclusive Robot Spirits Side Eva. I'm going to say Evangelion a lot here. Evangelion Production Model Unit 8 Gamma, I believe is what that sign means. But this is from the Rebuild of Evangelion movies, which I love the Evangelion series. I'm not crazy about the movies. They're not bad or anything. I just love the original show so much. I do think that this exact Eva here is very cool. I think Mari was a pretty cool character, but I didn't really like it enough to originally pay $110, which was what the online retail price for this was. But I don't think this is selling super well on some retailers because, like, if you go on Big Bad Toy Store, it's $70, and it's been $70 for a while. I got this several months ago at that price, so I decided to pick it up. It's only slightly more expensive than the previous, the retail of the previous side Eva figures I reviewed on the channel. But I want to go ahead and take a look at this here today for Anime Week because this just looks fantastic. It's been a while since I've touched an Evangelion figure on the channel. This here, it says Robot Spirits at the top left side Eva. That is the Evangelion store, as well as the just web exclusive in general logo for Tamashii Nations, which I forgot that there was an Evangelion store. I would love to go there if I ever went to Japan. This exact image of the figure is nice, and then you have that background image right there too, really sick. You see here it just says SP. I don't exactly know what that means, but it's not a normal number because it's not a normal retail release. It says Evangelion Production Model 8 Gamma, the Evangelion official merchandise logo right there, as well as those logos that we see a lot with Bandai Tamashii Nations and the quality sticker. Looking on this side here, just says Evangelion Production Model 8 Gamma. You see what these particular arms look like going on here. That's side Eva. On the opposite side, it's just going to be this like monochrome image of the figure right there. Not looking too bad, honestly. On the top, it's more of a black and white image of this, and then we have that little green, and then Robot Spirits there. On the bottom, again, a different image going on there, but basically the same lettering and designing going on the top of the box. On this side here, usually they have a little window to show them, but they don't with this one. Anyway, we do have Eva Production Model Unit 8 Gamma, the figure and the gimmicks posed there, looking really awesome. And then this does have a bluefin distribution sticker there, because I got this from Big Bad Toy Store, and a barcode in case you need it. So let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. And here is the figure out of the packaging. While part of me would have been okay with not owning this, like I said earlier, the other part of me is glad that I do have this, because this is a very fantastic looking figure. I think they made a side Eva version of Unit 13. If they did, I think that's super expensive now. I kind of wish I tracked that down to go along with the rest of my stuff. But this thing is really sick still. Maybe not worth $110 though. Let's take a look at the accessories, then we'll take a closer look at the figure. Here's a quick look at the instruction manual. Pretty much goes over everything involved with this figure, with the accessories and the different gimmicks and how to operate everything, and just be careful with the figure when you're operating things, because there's some delicate parts and a lot of different things going on with these side Eva figures to where it might be possible to break things, so just be careful. First thing I want to show off is this large image of all these accessories here. If this is good enough for you, then I do recommend skipping to the next section of the video. We'll be here for a little bit. While this is a $110 figure, I feel like in some ways it maybe could have come with a little bit more, but I can understand why it's so expensive, because you're basically getting two figures out of one figure here. Because you see on the left side with all of these sleek arms going on there and those hands associated with it, you also have on the opposite side, the right side, we have the more arm guard sections, I guess, the braced arms with those red sections there. So you do get some different stuff going on here. First of all, I want to talk about these sleek arms. These things are really sick. The detailing on these is really cool. The orange and the white, like the line work associated with that is really cool. I think this is sculpted in there. Yeah, I actually can't tell if that's just painted on or something. No, that's sculpted in there. And then these more standard type of like Evangelion shoulder pad pieces, whatever these are, with the pink, black, and white, look fantastic. These logos, whatever these symbols are on the shoulders, are really nice, but the left one has a little bit of a blemish. It's kind of like sticking off a little bit. But then you get down to like the sleek arms with really nice black plastic there, and then you see how these hands are done. Both arms are packaged with the relaxed hands, so they are done in a very similar fashion. They pretty much, again, look the exact same, other than that brace section on the back of the hand, and these arms are the exact same besides all that extra sculpt work going on with the brace there. Interchanging these is not super easy. Here's an image of what this looks like with the sleek arms in there. It took a while to get them off, and then popping them back on is not super easy. They look really good, but I do recommend deciding whether you're going to pick one set of arms or the other and just kind of sticking with that, unless you want to try removing them whenever you want. It's just really tough to do. I had to put in a tiny bit of shock oil, maybe overdid it with the shock oil because the left arm is a little bit loose now, but I better loose and a little bit easier to remove than be super duper tight. So just keep that in mind. Because of how all of that works, we do have, again, different types of detailing with the hands. So the braced hands, the biggest difference is you're going to have the red arm guard section that is right there. I'm actually going to bring out these hands, these sleek hands. You'll see they're detailed the exact same way on the inside of the palms, looking really nice. And then that biggest difference, of course, is just that one section. You get that smoothness on the opposite side. So with that, I'm actually just going to bring out one of each fist because of that, just to show you again the difference. And one thing I didn't mention is the actual detailing is really nice all throughout all these hands with like these knuckle sections with the orange. The light gray also looks really good. The palms are done really well. Not every hand is perfectly painted. Sometimes black tends to speck on the gray and maybe like the orange overlaps the crease. But there's such minor problems that I'm not too upset about that. Now, one thing I do want to mention that's unique is we have this weapon holding hand. That's for the whip. I think it can also hold a rifle. These are slightly soft plastic fingers, but just be careful with that. But yeah, that looks pretty nice. But then we also have this expressive hand here, and only one expressive hand for EVA Unit 8 here. This is for EVA Unit 2 Alpha. And I'm going to show a quick image because I only have the normal EVA Unit 2 right there. Unit 2 here is different colors when it comes to that gray compared to that lighter brown between Unit 2 Alpha. So it's, you can definitely interchange these hands. They're compatible, but they're not going to look, the exact same because of the brown compared to the gray. I mean, it's detailed nice, but I don't think version Alpha is available anymore, unfortunately. This here, though, is just this left hand here. I don't know why I'm only getting one of these. I forget every single thing about the rebuilds. I may have to watch a synopsis video. I don't really feel like watching those movies again, but, just one. Still looking pretty good. Okay, we also have this head sculpt here. This is fantastic. I absolutely love how this looks. Here is a quick image of what it looks like on the head, or on the body, I should say. That is just such a cool looking accessory. This is when, I think the EVA was chowing down basically on another EVA, and it was growing the sleek arms back. Well, that movie's wild. Thrice Upon a Time, I believe. This is just really nicely looking with the pink and the white going on there. It's a little bit bright, so it's kind of hard to see, but yeah, that's all very cool. Detailed very similarly, at least on the top, because of how these little pieces are done with the white and red, and those like fin pieces for the pink there. But of course, once you get to like the eye sections where there's just all this really scary looking red going on there, and then like the purple detailing too, this darker gray, and then the teeth and the tongue are detailed super duper nicely. Very awesome looking. You do have this base adapter before I get to the other accessories. This is very simple. You just plug it onto the bottom of the figure and you attach it to a Tamashii base, or it actually works with a good Smile Figma base as well. This is a really bad pose here, but I just wanted to show you. You can use this for mid-air posing. We also have this accessory here, Unit 2 colors, I believe. Yeah, this is just the whip accessory, looking really nice, with the red and the white, dark gray and the yellow on, or the orange, I should say. And this is a very long bendy wire, and actually is pretty secure. But the end here with this white section, this is a piece of plastic, or at least it feels like it. It does not want to bend like this, like easily at all. So I'm just not gonna mess around with that. But you have one of those hands that was meant for gripping this, so that's pretty cool. Last thing I do want to show off is how the AT field is done here. This thing is really sick. It's this clear piece of plastic that has this printing on here
One side is going to look a little bit of a brighter pink with these swirling details, looking really awesome. The other side is going to look a little darker, so I don't remember if the darker side faces the Eva or faces away. But basically, you have this white piece here, a separate white piece that's got a peg on it, and then you just sandwich the plastic AT field together. And then this is just footage of me of how to plug that in like so. You have a hole on the back of this figure. It fits on there like a glove. There's no problems. It's pretty secure on there too. So it's pretty easy to do that, and it looks really good when you have some photos with this on there. There's also a back armor section I want to talk about really quick. You can remove that. It does reveal another peg for a Tamashii base. You can use both of the back holes for the Tamashii base if you wanted to, but I guess they just did that for options on the back there. One last thing to show off is that this AT field is compatible with other Evangelion figures, but some of their back sections, like Eva Unit 1 here, they're angled down, so it just looks a little weird. One thing I want to mention really quick, and I apologize if I never mentioned it in these previous reviews, but these are built very similarly, almost the exact same, these previous Eva figures, which makes sense. They're built in the same way with differences like, different chest parts, some differences in like the shoulders, and of course color choices, but like if you look at the legs and the hips and the knees, they're all, there's a lot of reuse there. And again, it makes sense. But if you have like Eva Unit 8 here, and I don't own the previous Unit 8, but if you have this one here with this, there's a lot of different here. I don't know how much different with this one compared to the previous Unit 8. I can assume they'd be reusing a decent amount. But this has a lot of differences. Both look great, but like just how much new they have to put in here, it looks really fantastic. Like how you see the knees look here. These look like they want to pop off a little bit. Like the feet, even like how the thigh sections are done. All of that is really cool. These figures just look so awesome. And that head sculpt is also really awesome. I really like how they did these green eyes with the purple, and then the pink is also really clean. There is no splotching anywhere. It's really fantastic. Not even in the red on the white. Like that is perfectly in there, and that's really, really hard surface area to get in there. So I think that's really impressive. You have the white section on the like these fin pieces. These could be fragile, so be careful. Dark gray for the jaws. Looking on the back here, that's what the back of the head looks like. A little bit of line detail in there, looking really cool. Talked about this earlier, but these smooth arms, if I could find one of them, there it is. This smooth arm is essentially a very similar approach in terms of sculpt compared to the one that it comes packaged with, but of course they sculpted the brace parts on here. Excuse me, which these look really fantastic. This lighter red on here is really cool. This white section pops out a little bit for some reason. Not entirely sure why. This is not like that much. Be careful with this too. This seems a little fragile. But the braces and like the pistons on here with like the darker red with the brighter red look fantastic. This is very NECA RoboCop vibes when it comes to that. I think other companies have done this too with RoboCop figures. But we also have just like these white sections here. They are small. You do end up grabbing these areas a lot, so I'm afraid at some point something will snap off. I don't think they're a softer plastic. Maybe they are, but still, just be careful with all of this. And then, again, these are what the relaxed hands look like there. That's what the palms look like with that. And like the orange and gray and the black on the hands, all that is really clean. I think a little bit of splotching in some areas, but you have to look really, really hard to notice the difference. Like this, circular section in the elbow is really cool. Whatever we have with the elbow pad. Yeah, it just looks really sick how it's still really consistent with this. It's almost like you can remove this stuff to where these look the exact same. Of course these are sculpted on there, but they just placed this and continued that detail so nicely with the normal arms. These things are so sick. They're a little bit hard to move around, so I may stick with these and later on after this review, but it's still really cool to have something like this. Getting to the chest and stomach section, actually first of all, the neck also has some cool detailing around there with different colors of this type of almost like a brown. It feels like a little bit of pink in that brown too, I don't know. but really great detail in there. This pink, it comes through really nicely. It's a little bit glossy, so it doesn't really feel like there's many paint apps, but it's like a semi-gloss type of plastic. But the other paint apps, like the gray on the back, that looks like it's molded in red. But the gray on the back here, as well as the orange and white, all look really fantastic. Those colors, they just are very good on this. And then you have, towards the front of this chest piece, with the orange in there, all these different sections in the stomach there. I don't think, yeah, there's different sections, like 3 different sections. It's usually like that with EVA figures, so yeah, this is just really nice looking. And again, you know, how it looks, it's still very EVA-esque, but still being its own unique thing. This little waist section has a little bit of some colors in the back piece here. This looks like it pops off, but I don't really want to try that. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it does. It just kind of looks like it protrudes out a little too much. Then we get down to the hip sections. There's nothing really crazy about this slight glossy black section here in the hips, but then you get to like the pink armor sections looking really nice. You have that separated orange in there. Lots of great line detail all throughout this too. Some areas it's not as easy to see. Like, of course, any line detail in these are really easy to see, as well as in the arms. But some sections around here, it's mostly like how the curves are done. Like, this is definitely a line section that is very nicely separated. And then like that, it's a little bit hard to see, but that you can still tell some line detailing in there. It's very cool. Back of the legs, there's nothing really crazy about them. You see the joints there. I did want to show how that clip, if you see here for the adapter piece, a little bit hard to see, but they did sculpt out indents in there to fit that. Then you get to this knee section here, bending this. Yes, there's a cut in here to allow for this to, yeah, so this can just fit into there, and that's really cool how they did that, and then that pushes with that separated white piece. I don't know if this is a separate piece or if this is painted. It looks like it's painted. Yeah, that's just really, I really love how this is detailed. I love, yeah, like, the more I wasn't crazy about this design, but the more I'm messing around with this figure, it makes me like the design, actually. It's very sick. There's really nice line sections, and panel lines, I should say, on this calf piece. Then we get down to, like the ankle guard, looking really nice with the gray and the orange right there. I mean, the joints are a little too apparent, but it's not too bad. Joints also are pretty apparent in the shoulders, so they can look a little funky, but it's not too bad. I really don't mind that. Forgot to mention these red sections up there are looking really nice too. The bottom of these feet are also really nicely detailed, like the rest of these. Like, you just see, I don't know if these are they're definitely not the exact same sculpt of feet because of how the back of the the heel is done. But I'm wondering, they're not really. They're similar, but definitely different if you look close enough to how the bottom of the feet look with other EVAs. The detailing, though, is really nice with that gray and the red there. There are some SH Figure Arts figures that have sneakers and they don't have this level of detailing. So this is just, one more time with actually the back heel section looking nice. This is just such a fantastically detailed piece. Articulation gets a little bit complicated. It's really good, but there's a lot of stuff going on here and things are probably going to fall apart. So this head section is kind of like a 2.0 Goku, where we have a ball joint to the head, a hinge, as well as a swiveling peg, as well as a ball joint at the neck. That all that range of motion allows for this type of down, this type of up, but things can get a little weird. Like, yeah, you can definitely go side to side. You can probably go more though, but things are getting kind of hindered, and you have to shimmy things around. You can swivel it here at this part of the head. You can kind of swivel here too, but I don't want to mess around with the head too much because sometimes things feel loose and sometimes things feel too tight. We have a shoulder joint going on here, basically a butterfly joint. There's a separate sculpted piece in there too to cover the joints, but you can go all the way around. This one's a little bit loose since I was working on it earlier, but it goes all the way around here. My biggest complaint with all of these side EVA figures is that these shoulder pads pop off all the time, and then they're pretty difficult to pop back in. But it's better for this to be a safety net with this popping out with these pistons too. There's also a ball joint here, or maybe that can pop out and then going on in here too. Better to have those safety nets than for anything to actually break and then not be fixable. But the arms kind of go out like that. Oh wow, yeah, pretty good still. Arms can swivel here. There is a separate disc section, which I can actually show at this one here. Separate disc section for the shoulder pad that can make that move. That's for all sets of arms too. And again, the ball joint here can swivel, but it likes to pop out a decent amount. Okay, so you carefully grab something like the arm here, or maybe like the back here, and that piston will move. And you carefully can push that back in. All arms bent at a 90-degree angle. Again, some swiveling going on there. A little bit of a swivel at the elbow, but it's hindered with the bracer arms. So, you got this, and you have this actually here. You get a good look at that 90-degree angle. I'll just show off the rest here. None of the hands, or none of the arms have hindered hand articulation, which is good. But it goes in and out here, and then you can make it go up and down. Standard wrist articulation. 3 sections of ball joints here, so it can go back like this. Kind of, shows some gaps, of course. And goes forward really nice, actually. Again, that back could definitely, not too bad, but could be better. But it allows for this type of side-to-side and swiveling things. Not a complete swivel, but still, everything moves, and those armor pieces move. It just looks really sick. Legs are on a drop-down system. You can kick them out like this. Kick them back too, kick them up, and then, you kick them out, and then you can kind of do a split. It's almost a full split. Yeah, so lots of leg movement there. Swivels here, double jointed knee. I think there's no swiveling there. Then we have a swivel here, up and down. And we do also have a pivot, not a rocker, I think. Yeah, but pivot. A ball joint at the ankle guard there as well. And then we have a toe hinge right there. There may be some sections that I'm missing. Hopefully I showed off how all the arms work, but lots of stuff going on. And then there's some complicated stuff with these arms that have pistons.
Measuring out the figure gets a little bit complicated because of the top of the head and the shoulders, but we're getting it around 16 to 17 centimeters, which will put this around 6.5 to almost 7 inches tall. It's actually a little bit shorter, it seems, compared to some of the other side EVA figures that I own here. And then I pulled out a random Gunpla, the narrative C-packs here. It's definitely going to be shorter. Overall, the more I kept messing around with this throughout the course of the review, the more I ended up really liking this thing. It's such a fantastic piece. I think it's really cool that you can do the brace arms version and then the more sleek, normal type of arms as well. It's a little bit hard to interchange the arms, but it's still a really nice feature. And the brace arms work a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. Those pistons, it's not easy to move those, but all that seems like it's detailed and, engineered very carefully. I would still be careful with those. That's why I'm going to stick probably with the more smooth arms because I don't want to end up breaking anything. But the fact that we get different hands for both different types of arms is really cool. Kinda don't see why they threw in a different arm for a different Evangelion figure, but I mean, what are you going to do? They do that sometimes. I do think that the AT field is also really cool. I don't see myself using the whip accessory that much, but it is a nice touch. And that alternate head is also fantastic. The detailing and paint work on this thing, some of it could be better. It's just mostly molded in pink, but it still looks really good. Like the orange painted on there and the white and the face, that just looks really fantastic. The articulation and engineering overall is also really fantastic. This thing, I kind of understand why it's around $110. I still don't think it's exactly worth it for that much, but again, I got this on Big Bad Toy Store where it is currently $70 right now, not sponsored or anything, but this thing is just so awesome. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.